Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am delighted to welcome you to this week's edition of Crossfire, reaching you from the Advent Cable Network Nigeria Television, ACNNTV. I am Olusegun Emmanuel Akinola. You know, Crossfire is a program that treats controversial topics on diverse issues surrounding the family, church, and society. It's a friendly discussion where we raise pertinent issues. However, at the end, you can decide for yourselves where to stand and what position to take. Our focus today is on the family because everyone has and keeps certain personal secrets about themselves, about their family, their work, and so on. However, when it comes to Christian marriage, we say the two have become one. So does that mean spouses should divulge every single detail of their lives to one another in order to maintain and build the trust? Or should one be a little diplomatic about the information they share with their spouses, for the sake of peace? A few weeks ago, we had two young men in the studio who discussed this topic and shared their perspective. Today, we have two women who will give their female version on this same topic. They are Mrs. Chika Ogu, who will be supporting No Secrets, and Mrs. Dorothy Madaki, who will be speaking on keeping certain secrets. You're both welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for joining us today. So let us get right into the discussion this morning. Mrs. Chika Ogu, since you're talking about no secrets at all, I'd like to hear your perspective on this. Is it right to share unpleasant details about maybe yourself or your family members to your spouse? Let's say you have a brother who had issues in the past, maybe with drug addiction or alcoholism, or even maybe your parents, some past issues that does not concern your husband. Would you share such information with your husband?
Well, my husband, it's me, and I am my husband.
Okay.
I believe that the moment God brought us together, we are meant to be open to one another. I read from the Bible, book of Genesis says, both were naked and they were not ashamed. So I believe that if my husband truly loves me and he is a child of God, I should have confidence in him that whatever bothers me, he should know about it.
Okay.
No matter how unpleasant a story is, if I can bring it out, he is the only person that can share it with me.
Okay.
Initially, actually, in my marriage, I didn't have this understanding anyway. So I tried to, keep some things to myself until a time came when I had this better understanding that both of us are one. There's no point keeping any secret from him. And if something bothers me because of my family or my brother is not doing well or misbehaving or whatever, of course, the only person I can share with is my husband.
Okay.
And at that point, I decided to open up very well, and it helped.
Okay.
It helped because each time I feel down, and he gets to know why the mood is changing, he knows where to come in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mrs. Dorothy, I don't know if you have something to chip in there.
Yeah.
Yes.
As in the Bible, from the beginning where she said she read from Genesis,
Yes.
God kept Adam and Eve in the garden and gave them a law
Yes.
to say not to eat from the tree of the middle of the garden.
Yes.
Eve took from the fruit and ate, not discussing it with the husband. And she gave to him and he ate without even asking where it came from. But when the Lord came, what did he say? The woman you gave to me gave, taking himself out of the picture. So it was the woman that sinned and not him. But he took from that fruit and ate without even asking her where she got it from. So I believe there should be a little secret. There are some things we should keep to ourselves.
Okay.
As a wife, you have a problematic, maybe father or brother has one problem or the other to deal with in life. sometimes you keep to yourself. I believe you praying for it will help. Because telling your spouse about it, one day he will come out to tell you maybe something goes wrong in the house. Yeah. He will use it against you one day. If your father was a drunk or your brother, you are also the same thing, you know, like that. It keeps going. So there are some things we should keep to ourselves. And as women, the day you stand in front of the church and God to say, I do, I believe you are a novel of secrets yourself. It is not everything you just let out, even to your spouse.
Okay. Now, in line with that, how does one determine what secret is safe and which one is not safe? You know, you might say, okay, you can tell him about some old relationship, but when it comes to some other details, maybe you receive alert from somebody and you say, okay, this one I should not tell him about it because you know it can cause confusion. What kind of secrets are safe and which ones are not safe to share with your spouse?
For me, I think there are no secrets you can say are safe and secrets that are not safe.
Okay.
Because there are some that you think are safe. Those ones you think are safe might be the ones that will cause problem, light the fire in the house. And the ones you think are not safe might be just, when people hear about it, will say, this is just a normal thing and it is, you know, it's nothing. Okay. So the best thing is just for us to know how to live with our spouses. Okay. Because my own problem or the way I deal with my spouse will not be the way she deals with her spouse. If I come to tell you how I deal and you want to copy what I do in my own home, it will not work for you.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
yes,
that is true. But then, if someone gives money to me and I don't open up to my husband, probably because he's a man, and I get to spend it, what answer do I give him when he comes back to the house and says that she's bought so many things in the house? Where is the money coming from? And if there's anything that has happened in the past, I still have this belief that someday, sometime, it might come up. There's no how you hide something. The future will surely bring it up. And if he happens to hear it from another source, he might not be he might not feel good about that. Yes, that is what I feel. And
what if, for instance, in a home, I want to give this example. As a wife, you do very well in the other room.
In the other room.
In the other room. And you know, as a man, he will not just come out to tell you, my wife, which is supposed to, but some spouses don't do that. Supposed to come out and say, my love, my darling, you did well and I love the way, you know, you handled it and everything. And you know where to, like, you know, do more so he could keep pressing you. But some people don't do that. He goes out, instead of talking to you, he talks to his friends. And you know, there are some friends that are not really friends. Telling them that will make him, and they are doubting Thomas too in friends. So he will want to come and test the food your wife cooks in the other room to make sure he is saying the truth. And so by then the friend comes and meets you. Wants to test the food. You always give your husband in the other room. And you know, as a good woman, you said no to him and you make him understand you are my married man and you can't do that. He begs you to please forgive him. He comes to his senses and asks for forgiveness and asks you to keep it a secret. I feel it should be a secret. Depending on the way you handle your spouse. You know the kind of person he is. Maybe telling him that will bring the lion in him and will bring a problem in the house. But then keeping it is not harming you, it's not harming him, it's not harming any other person in the family because you did nothing wrong. So you think keeping that a secret is okay. Because when this thing comes to light, it might bring a very big problem in the house. So I think it should be a secret.
You react to that because that's a big bomb.
It's a big bomb, really. If my husband has a friend that will have the guts to come to my house to ask for such a thing, I feel that friend should be away from my husband by all means. He's not a good friend. Of course, the information. Of course, I have to find a way to let my husband know that this is not a good friend.
Yes. But will you actually talk about the incident?
Of course, I will tell him so that he will understand that truly this friend is not a friend indeed.
And what about if your husband turns now to cheat change everything, turn it around, and put the fault on you.
I suppose we are talking about a Christian home.
Yes.
Definitely.
If my husband is a Christian, he should understand that our salvation is very important.
But what you should understand here is, before he becomes a Christian, he was a man.
Sure.
And so anything can happen at any time.
Okay.
That is why transparency is very important.
Okay.
I'm transparent, my husband is transparent.
Should be transparent.
If any third person is coming in between us, both of us will stand together to pursue the person away.
Okay. Now let's before we even get out of this topic, let's say it's even a family member. A friend is even far away. A family member who is staying, you see sometimes some younger ones or cousins or uncles are staying in the same house with you, you know, and let's say some behaviors were going out of line, you know. But being your spouse's family, would you now go and tell him that your brother did this or your uncle did this, and because you know he will most likely send the person out? You know, how do you handle such a situation? Won't you just keep it secret, tell the person to behave himself, or how do you?
Okay, you know, life has a way of bringing issues out.
Yes, definitely.
A woman in the house is always praying. My husband would have known the kind of person I am.
Sure.
He would have known that when I say yes, my yes is yes.
Okay.
And if something is happening in between me and my brother-in-law or my sister-in-law who is staying with me, I don't go out all the way to just bring it out, because initially my husband may not be able to take it in.
Exactly.
Now, wisdom is also very important in the house in handling issues. You keep praying for the person, you keep handling it on your own. I tell you, time will bring it up to the point where the man in the house will notice it himself.
Okay.
And when he notices it, you will now have the time to say, okay, this is how it has been all this while. And you've been trying to like manage it, because of course I wouldn't want him to pursue any of his brothers, you know, away from the house.
Yes.
Yeah, but if the person is not behaving well, you try to handle it as a Christian mother also, yeah. But when it comes to the point that it has to bring problem between me and my husband, of course, you have to do something about that.
Definitely. Okay, Mom is like your
I wanted to chip in. Handling it as a Christian wife or mother should be the way, you know, the family is. You already know that very particular family. You are one of them now, getting married to them. You have your husband and you have your mother-in-law. Now, your brother-in-law is staying with you and your husband. And he has this problem we are talking of. And you keep praying to yourself and asking God to let your husband understand how this boy is and whatever. And later he comes to, it happens that he realizes, yes, what this woman is saying maybe is true or whatever it is. And will your mother-in-law at home really think that, yes, your husband really knows, or you were saying the truth, or you are the one causing the problem? Because they will always get back at you as the wife.
Definitely.
She is the one. She has been doing it. Maybe she has poisoned him. She has given him so that he will say it is the brother. You understand? So there are some things that you don't really need to keep all these problems aside. You keep them to yourself. You are a Christian mother. You are a Christian wife. Just keep praying for them. Let them, if it is for change, let him be a change boy. Let him know the right from the wrongs, instead of, you know, because doing that, you also be giving yourself problems.
Okay. Now, let's even go into something else. For Mrs. Chika now, would it be right to narrate every detail of your old lifestyle, you know, to your spouse? Maybe things you've done back in secondary school, maybe you've lived a very frivolous life before, you know. You're a changed person now, you're a Christian woman now. I mean, you're mature, you've maybe even forgotten some of these things in the past. But somehow you link up with some old friends and they call you by some certain nicknames and you say, who is this person that this is talking about my wife, you know. So will you divulge some such information even when you feel it's no more relevant? You're a Christian now. Old life has passed away, you know, everything has become new.
I think you've actually answered it.
Okay.
For me, I will tell you yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because this life, I don't know how to explain it, but I know that there's a way life goes. It goes round. You know. What I did when I was small, I find out that some of them, my children, do them. Good and bad.
Of course.
And when they do something that is wrong and I hate, when I'm on my own, it comes back to me.
Yeah.
And what I do, I go back to them.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I have hate and that kind of thing, just to make it up.
Okay. You go back and apologize to your children?
Yes, of course.
Oh, okay.
I do.
We might say this is not very popular among African.
It's not popular, but we have learned, to do some things to make sure that we keep our hearts open for the family to move on well.
Okay. Okay.
Now, if I say that I am born again, my old life should be made known to my spouse,
Okay.
even to my children to some extent.
Okay, to some extent. But to your husband, not to an extent. Everything.
Yes, to my husband, he should know everything that I have done in the past, because that is my testimony.
Okay.
I am proud to say that once I was bad, now I am good.
Okay.
If I cannot share my old life, it means that I am still holding onto some of those little things.
Like someone would say skeletons in your cupboard.
Of course, I got married and I had to open that cupboard. Let him see how dirty that cupboard used to be.
Exactly.
And see how clean it is now.
Okay.
So when he is also saying, my wife is born again, he is sure of what he is saying.
Yes.
That's what I feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
When he is saying your wife is born again, he is sure of what he is saying. But he is a man. What I want you to understand is that we are still human.
Yeah.
We are not angels.
Yes.
This man is human. You open up your closet to him and you think, yes, because you are born again now. But this same man you are talking of, tomorrow something will happen, because there's when you were young, when he was coming to cut you in your parents' house, he will do anything you want him to do.
Sure.
There's no in his mouth. Everything is yes, and yes. He want to please you and do everything. You will not believe that it's the same man that when you come to his house after a year, he will tell you, I will slap you. Why, are you stupid? You understand? It is that same man. So no matter how born again he is, one day he will go back to those things and tell you nonsense about them. Were you not a harlot? That's even the way he will put it. Maybe you told him, okay, I was like in the university, I had no money, my parents were not, buoyant enough, so I had to help myself, and I, did one or two things to keep myself. Even if you told him it was just a boyfriend you kept or two, he will call you a harlot. Any day something comes up, that thing will ring back and he will use it back at you.
Okay.
So I feel there is no need, is no need to bring out everything. Everything, no. You let the sleeping dog lie.
What if he gets to know from another source? What happens? He will still use it against you. So for me, I feel it is coming out from my mouth. Let him hear it.
And then judge for himself.
And judge for himself. Okay. Meanwhile, if he calls me, gives me a name, for instance, I'm a child of God now, I should be able to bear it.
Okay.
St. Paul himself called himself a chief sinner.
Chief sinner, yes. Yes.
He said, all these things I did in ignorance. And for now, he does them no more. So if someone would want to, pin me down because of what I did in the past, it has no meaning. If he hurts me because of the way he is saying it to me, it's just for a while. I will take it.
Okay, we'll just put a pin in it at this point. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
Hello, children. It is a new dawn for children on the network as ACNNTV rolls out this new and exciting children's program called Children's World. This program is aimed at bringing the word of God to children in their own world, showcasing their talents as well as to acquaint them with the ways of life and the rich cultures of our people. All these are treasures you would love to be part of. We also have the Outlook Center, which promises to feature exciting activities for children and by children. Parents are not left out of this.
You are a perfect creature. The way you are perfect.
I'm so excited to roll out all these activities for your viewing pleasure. So Come along with me to Children's World.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Crossfire, and we've been discussing keeping of secrets in Christian marriage. And of course, this is the female version. We still have in the studio with us Mrs. Chika Ogu and Mrs. Dorothy Madaki, who have been discussing so far on this topic. Mommy Madaki, let me come to you now concerning, keeping certain secrets. Should there be some level of privacy in marriage? What would you consider to be a private matter to you? This one is my own. He doesn't need to know about it. Maybe it's your business or some old friends or anything like that. Would you consider, when it comes to marriage, there are some things that should be private to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
My salary.
Okay.
For instance. Yeah.
Okay.
There's this illustration I want to give. There's this man and his wife. She came out thinking, a Christian man and a Christian, and everything should go. He should know everything about her. And she told him how much she receives and everything. And seeing that she is receiving good salary, you know what this man did? He said, okay, since it has become this way, I think we are going to share the children.
Okay.
And you will take care. Look at the way he likes himself and love himself so much. You will take care of 3 children. You pay their school fees. And I will pay. They have 4 children. And so he will take care of only one. Because he thinks she's getting more salary than he. So you understand? This kind of things, when you say you are going to bring them out like that, he will not think, okay, you also have things to take care of on your own.
Of course.
And not even for yourself, not even only for your own parents, but his own parents too. There are some things as a woman you need to do to keep things going. But he told her to take care of 3 children. This is their school fees. And then what will he be doing? Paying just for one person, and then it is, So I think it is not just right. Okay. I keep my salary to myself, so he should sit up to his own duties, do what you're supposed to do as a man.
If there's any point,
for me to help, I can chip in, I will help you, but not to give me the whole children because I'm busy. No.
Okay, ma. You're ready? Try to respond.
I think whoever does that is not a Christian, is not born again. Permit me to say.
Okay.
A man that is born again, Bible says, should take care of his family. Yes. Otherwise, he is worse than an infidel.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
So if a man knows that he is a child of God, even if the wife gets more, no problem. He should also take up his responsibility in the house. Yes. I should not, by any means, keep away my financial status from my husband. I don't.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So you just let him know, and if you now take such a decision of, take care of this number of things in their home house. And all that, is not palatable.
You know that Satan has already entered the house.
Of course.
For a man to come into the house to say, these children you will be taking care of, and then he will be taking care of. I mean, something is wrong already.
Okay. What if you now discover that you have a spouse who loves to spend? He loves a good life, wants to buy the latest cars, wants to move to the best of places, and best of schools, even for the children, of course. That's the desire for every spouse, every parent. Now, would it be right for you to keep sharing things with him like that, knowing that he will keep spending and not saving or even taking care of certain things that need to be taken care of? Will you keep sharing such information?
Like I said before, wisdom is very profitable in every relationship, as well as communication.
That's true.
If my husband is frivolous in spending, it means he still does not understand that all he has is for Christ. He has to give account of even his spending. If he's giving money for services he does not need, so to say, or buying things that he does not need, he's not doing what he ought to do. And he has to give an account for that. That will not stop me from letting him know how much I earn monthly. No, it will not. But I think the wisdom there will help me to, now look for how to invest more so that he will not have so much to spend.
Okay.
That's why I say wisdom is profitable.
Okay, mommy, I see you.
So you agree that you will know how to give and you hold some because you want to.
Not withholding, investing.
Investing, okay.
You invest more. You know, we some of us who work for salary, we just get the money and you keep and you spend it, and that is all. No. Now you see that this man spends more than we earn. You keep talking about that gently, of course, praying about that.
About it, yes.
Of course, God knows how to handle all these
Yes,
situations.
yes.
Beyond that, also, we can go as far as you know, trying to put money into other things that will keep yielding. Yes.
And you let him know of all these things you are doing, all the
There's no
investments you are
business he
keeping.
will do in the house.
That
You are
you
in
don't
his
know
house,
about
of course. He will surely know your whereabouts. So
And you will
does-
keep demanding for the money, and you keep giving him because you are a good wife.
No.
He keeps demanding for
No.
it because he spends too much.
No.
He demands and you give. That is how it is. You are a good wife, you are a Christian woman, so you give. You can't say no to him.
I'm not saying I will not say no to him.
Okay, okay.
You can say no.
Yeah.
This one I'm not giving you, but I have it.
Yes, yes. So the information
This
is ready
money
there.
is in
You
the
have- you
bank.
have given
I
it
am
the-
saving this money for the future, but I'm not bringing it home.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. So the information is still there. It's just
Yes,
that
you have the information,
wisdom to
but
how
you
to
have to
spend
apply
it,
wisdom.
will now have to be
Yes.
different. Okay. Now there's another matter. Let me come to you, Mami Madaki now. Issue of privacy now. You know, you've talked about your finances. How about other private issues when it comes to phones? It seems to be a common thing nowadays. People lock their phones, they put password and say, you know, they want to be careful. Would you keep your phone away from your spouse? Say, see, this is my own private matter. If you have a phone call, would you say that it's okay for your husband to receive the phone call or reply certain messages or go through your phone and things like, and of course vice versa too? Will you also go through your husband's
Phone
phones?
is a private thing,
Okay.
I believe.
Okay.
If not, we all will be using the landlines at home.
Okay.
You call, I pick,
Yes,
he
yes.
picks, the children picks, and you know, it is just like
Yes,
that.
yes.
But when it is phone, I have it in my hand. It's
Yes.
mine.
Yes.
So I don't think somebody will call and you just come and pick my call and want to answer. You don't know what
so
I...
who is that man that is calling you?
Yes, you understand. So it should just be that way.
Okay.
If we don't want to use, if we want to be practical, if we want to be like open to each other, then we use the landline. Just keep it there in the house. Everybody should get away with the phones. We give them out and be, you know, carefree with the landline we have at home. If they call
Okay.
me, you pick. If they call you, I
But
pick.
as long
And
as it's
then
mobile
but
phone,
as
it's
long as it's
personal.
mobile phone is personal, you hold your phone, I hold my own, because you know it can bring a lot of problems.
Of course, of
The
course.
day you want to go and check his own, then you know the mistrust has already come in.
Yes,
And after that, the devil is a very cunning human being.
Yeah.
Immediately you open, you see what is not even there. Something will just pop up and it's not even really that thing,
That thing.
but you will see that thing, and
Yeah.
that is where the problems
course,
begin.
of course.
So you just leave him with his phone and you hold your own, and I think there's no problem with that.
Okay, how about you, Mommy? This is your phones.
Well, phone is actually private.
Okay.
Yeah, but the truth is that in keeping it private, you also have to be very transparent. If I have secrets,
Yeah.
that is when I'll be guarding my phone jealously. So I
And of
don't
course,
want
even
anybody.
the man too will do the same thing.
Yes, but like I'm always standing on this platform that I'm a Christian. My husband is a Christian. Something can happen, and I will need to touch his phone.
Okay.
Personally, or ethically, I don't believe in going through
Going
my
through,
husband's phone or
messages
anybody.
and all
No. I can only do it with my children,
Okay.
but not my husband. I give him that respect,
Okay.
believing that he also knows how to handle himself, handle his friends, female and male.
Mail.
Yes.
That's true. That's true. Okay.
For my own, he can also come, but he does not do that.
Okay.
But what if something happens and he needs to, pick up my calls?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is why I said it is good for us to be transparent.
Sure.
If an old friend calls, probably I have gone out without him knowing, and I have run into someone that I used to know and exchanged numbers, and then I come back to the house and all of a sudden my phone rings and I'm not close to. I can easily say, "Hi, honey, please pick my phone for me."
Okay.
And he picks it, and of course, he hears a male's voice. He will ask,
who's this?
"So who is that?"
You know, there are some people who have funny ways of relating with us, maybe even in our workplace.
Yeah.
You might say, this one is your work husband,
Yeah.
or this one is your work wife,
Yes.
and they share
Yes.
certain details.
Yes.
If you find out, you mistakenly pick a call like that, and the person says, oh, hello baby, or hello love, and you're not knowing that they already have a way they relate, even though of course discreetly.
Yeah.
So wouldn't that be a point for you to now say, no, we should actually be checking each other's phone to be sure we don't get such phone calls, or to caution such people, whether it is in a workplace or old friends, to stay away?
Do you know that we need such things in our lives? I have a friend, funny enough, he's also a venerable.
Okay.
And I call him, he picks, and you hear, hey, hi baby, how are you doing? My husband is there.
Okay.
My husband picks my call, and he will hear that.
Okay.
You understand?
Good.
We have known for a long time. And because my husband has also come into the relationship,
Yes,
it stands.
Of course.
We need such things to make life good. And I mean, we keep moving.
Yes.
But what if one day something happens and he turns back to you to tell you, how am I even sure that venerable that is always calling you baby, there's nothing going on between the two of you?
Well, the truth is that I still believe that we are both Christians and should not live with suspicion.
Yes. As long as you're open about
As
it.
long as I am open to him, if something happens and he decides to say such a thing, well, I know that the enemy is at work, and you fight the enemy and not him.
Okay. Now, let me come to you now. We discussed it a little earlier, but let me put it another way. What happens if you have family or friends who come to visit and they share certain negative comments about your wife, I mean about your spouse, your husband? Of course, you are the woman, you should be able to stand for your husband and defend him, but some things become very glaring. They say, we noticed this about him, or you say things about maybe he drinks or he smokes or whatever, you know. It's something you may have been praying about. Now, if such family members or friends share such negative comments about your spouse to you, will you go and tell him, say, well, this is what this person said about you, or that is what that person said about you?
Okay, negative things about my husband. It depends on who is saying it.
Okay.
It depends on the intention the person has. If it is something he does, and I know he too does, and I know he actually does it, of course, something that I have been praying that God will please bring change.
Yes.
And somebody has now noticed it coming into the house and is bringing it out. Of course, I will make sure that I find a way of letting him know that, see, this thing that you are doing, some other person is taking note of it.
Of course.
As a child of God, as a man of God, a preacher of the word, you need a change. Let's fight it. Let's know how to, follow this so that there will be a change.
Okay.
But if I look at the person that is saying it and the way the person is saying it, and I know that the aim of that person is just to speak down my husband, I don't take it.
Okay.
I don't.
Now, that means you just talk with the person, or you go back
Of
to your
course, I
husband?
shun the person. I
Okay.
don't give that that person opportunity to bring it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't know if you want to react to that.
Yeah. Well, me, I feel there is no need going back to talk to him about it. I already know it's what he does, and he's into it, and I've been praying
about
concerning
it.
that.
Yeah.
So all I do is to keep praying and make sure things work out well. Not going back to talk to him, because it might become another thing.
Of course. Of course. If you don't-
Communication is very important. You
Yes.
can't just be praying and,
Not communicating.
and you will not be talking
It's
about
very, why I said this, you are in a marriage. You understand?
Yeah.
And what you do depends on what you know. You know the kind of man you stay as you are staying with.
Yes.
You understand? There are some people that are very hostile. Whatever you bring, they come in another way. When you say they come in another way. When you say this, they come in another way. So to prevent all those things, all these little crises in the house, there are some things that you don't just talk about them. You know, as a woman, you know how to. There are things a woman can hold to her grave. She don't speak them out. There are secrets she keeps.
You would have tried a little bit to talk about it. When you now see that this man is becoming so obstinate about this, you can afford to stop.
Why will you keep a secret and not talk about it to your grave? Because you already know the kind of man you are living with. So it's better you make it, and go with it like that.
As long as the thing is not harmful.
Harmful to anybody,
you
yeah.
or to the other person. Okay. Now, just as a final addition to this, Mrs. Ogu, now, would you say it is okay to use or to speak, we talk about white lies, in Christianity, say there are some lies that are okay, there are some that are situational, you can keep them to yourself. So would you say it is okay to share some white lies, with your spouse? You say, who is that person calling? You say, I don't know, it's my sister, when you know it's actually somebody else, things like, would you, or he asks you, where are you right now? You say you're in the office when you're actually somewhere else, but he might react in the other way. So,
like Isaac and Abraham.
And Abraham, yes. So this is my sister. So for the sake of peace, or for the sake of just to be safe.
Little white lie.
I still say,
okay,
a child of God does not tell lie, no matter what.
Okay.
We are not permitted to say what is wrong. Even if you want to say, sometimes Christians, we don't like persecution.
That's true.
We don't like hard life. But if your Christianity has not brought you to that point, then you have to retrace your steps.
Okay.
I don't have any excuse why I should say a lie because I want to maintain peace. That peace will not last.
Will not last. Okay. Yes. Mrs.
We have said it. Abraham did that, and I feel it is okay. It is at least. Yes, we can do that for the sake of peace, for the sake of your happiness and everything. I think a little white lie is not. There's nothing wrong with that.
Let's say you receive a phone call maybe from your in-laws, and you say, okay, I want to speak to the man, and the man says, I'm not around. Will you just tell that kind of lie? Say, no, okay, he's not around, or he's not available, or something like that? Because children tend to say that on behalf of their parents. So sometimes spouses tend to cover up even for one another if they know that, okay, just for the sake of peace, I will go and see your parents or go and see that person and tell them you're not around, just to cover up that situation. Yes. So if you have any final word of advice to young women out there who are married, who find themselves in very dire situations, what will be your final notes to them?
My final notes to them will be, you see, we are speaking as Christians and we really need to face reality. These things are happening, they are not lies.
Yes.
Yeah. They are secrets that we must just keep. There is no two ways about that. But what I will advise them to do is this. You have a very good friend that you can share your secrets with, because nowadays, hypertension kills because of the secrets we keep.
Yes.
You get a friend that you can pour out your heart, you talk to ease all those problems. And make sure you get a friend that is good, not just anybody.
Not anybody.
Yeah, because there are some friends you get and tomorrow you hear it in another place, So you get a friend that you trust and know that, your secrets are safe. You pour out your heart to her and then you pray together. You keep doing the same thing. She can tell you hers, you tell yours, and then you pray together. You can set the time to fast and pray for all those problems. Don't just keep them to yourself because they are really happening. You cannot say it's everything you go and confront a man or you tell him you know what is going to happen. So just keep them, help yourself.
Yes.
Talk to your friends and pray about it. And I believe it will work for us.
Amen. Okay. Mrs. Ogu.
It sounds interesting. Actually, I think it has to start from before you get married. Make sure you marry someone who is a child of God.
Okay.
Make sure. Don't just marry because he looks good or he has money, he goes to church, he sings in the choir. Please be sure that the person you want to marry is sincerely born again, has Christ in him or her.
Have you ever seen a man of God beat his wife? You've never heard of that?
I've heard. I've heard. But I'm sorry.
Yes.
It is not all people who wear collar that are born again.
Okay.
That is true.
That's true. Yes.
If we can tell ourselves the truth, God will help us.
That's true.
My husband should be my praying partner.
Best friend.
He should be my confidant. He should be my best friend before any other person steps in.
Yes.
And I feel that is what God made it in the beginning. So let's find, a way of making the background. Is it background they call it now? The foundation. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that the foundation has no problem. If the foundation has a problem, even the righteous will suffer.
Yes.
The Lord will help us.
Amen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it has indeed been a delightful time an interesting time discussing this topic. We really thank and appreciate their mothers who have discussed this topic with us, sharing their different perspective on this issue. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Now, secrets are, of course, by definition, something you do not want others to know about you. So many times we discover that in homes there are lots of divisions and lots of crises. Just as our mothers have said, we need to keep sharing and keep realizing the fact that as long as the foundation is right, we're able to trust one another and build up on that right foundation. So whatever situation you find yourselves, every spouse needs to ask themselves, why won't I want my spouse to know about this certain thing? And whatever the case may be, we need to keep learning day by day to be open and maybe even vulnerable. If you discover some things day after day, you will learn how to build that trust with your spouse, to be your best friend, to be your lover, to be your prayer partner, because that is what true love in marriage is all about. Till next time, stay blessed and stay safe. Goodbye.
Bye.